tomorrow. I don't got fears or problems, only got real ones round them.
This is the OMFL.
You can't touch this.
And you're in the mix with Kinda Real Name. Here's another OMFL production.
When I hit you up, I'm talking about banging something. Chill off in your crib with half a thing, probably make this thing or something. Girl, you like my bottom bitch. Post my bill, pay for my lawyer. Play your position when the mother hoes get out of order. When you wanna give me that, you purchase a plane ticket. Run around town when I was.
Now we're good to go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a little Saints and Sinners, episode number 7. It's been a little bit since I've been able to have time to do one of these. Life has just been super crazy, and then today the internet's acting crazy. It feels like every time I want to do one of these, something goes really, really haywire. So figured I'd knock this out before tonight. A little time here before the wife gets home. I got home a little bit earlier today, and so thanks for joining us and being here. So I want to talk about my off season. It has been a really bad start to the season of number 87 for the New Orleans Saints, already 0-3, but I'll kind of walk you through my team and show you exactly what happened this past off season to kind of explain exactly what my team looked like. Of course, as we all know, Drew Brees retired, and in this game in Madden 20, you got to have a good quarterback. If you don't have a good quarterback, it's going to be really, really hard, very difficult to win. You got to really game plan around not having an elite quarterback, and that learning curve is pretty steep. It takes a little bit to learn. Teddy Bridgewater is my guy. We re-signed him to a pretty decent contract, which was exciting, but he doesn't play all that well. You can see this throwing power, only 84 throwing power. That takes a lot of getting adjusted to. Even though Drew Brees was only 87 throwing power, that little 3 points of difference takes a lot getting used to. As Drew Brees took some getting used to at 87 than what I'm normally used to at 90, 91, 92, 93. I like a big arm quarterback. That's always been the model that I've used, and adjusting to somebody who's more accurate than strong means that you have to game plan much, much differently, and you have to figure that out for your team. So Teddy Bridgewater is my guy. He's got the guy that I kept on this team because of the money, and there just wasn't that many options out there. I know that Jared Goff was floating around. He was my quarterback all of Madden 19. The problem was that Jared Goff went for draft picks. I didn't have any draft picks to offer this past draft. So we bring in Kempt. Kempt is our rookie quarterback. He's a one-year quarterback. We had a rookie, but I think we moved him over to the practice squad. So Kempt is a guy that's a guy that we're just trying to build. We had another gentleman that's on our practice squad that's got a little bit more speed, a pretty decent arm at 88 throwing power. But, man, this throwing accuracy really matters, and you got to have a guide. So quarterback is still up in the air for this team. Halfback I feel pretty solid on. We got Kamara, Scott, and Gray as a rookie that we brought in. All of them have enough speed. Of course, Kamara is a stud. He's somebody that you can really build around. We're having a hard time getting him involved in the throwing game, though, in the passing attack for the Saints. We try not to abuse running backs in this league, but definitely we've opened the FPR because this guy is a tool that I need to figure out how to use and just haven't been able to get there. Fullback stays the same with Zach Line. Not the greatest fullback in the whole wide world. We'll probably try to replace him the next year. Receiver is one of the few positions that I feel extremely secure in. Michael Thomas is a stud for me. He plays extremely well. The problem has been, though, you have to be able to be patient with him. Let him use his route running to get open, and the timing just isn't there with Teddy Bridgewater. You have to let those passes go at a different time when you're 84 throwing accuracy, and we have not figured that out. I love Traquan Smith. Valdez-Scantling is a guy that we traded for last year. We actually ended up giving that high first-round pickup for this guy. At the time, though, we thought we'd be in the playoffs, and we thought we were giving up a late first-rounder, which we were totally cool with, but didn't quite work out that way. Grayson, Harris, and Gafford are all like speedster guys that we're trying to get involved in the game plan here, and then Kurt Wood is still a little bit of a project of a receiver that we have. Again, tight end I feel pretty secure at. Mack is a second-year guy. Arnold and Hill throws a lot of speed in there. They can make plays in the passing game. Offensive line, we've really been investing a whole lot into. Armstead, Pete, we put a lot of extra XP into him. McCoy is a pretty good rookie or second year. He was a rookie last year player for us. Dircher is my import that I bought over from Madden 19, and of course Ramczyk. The problem is trying to get all these guys to play together as a unit. They're more pass blocking than they are. They're more run blocking than pass blocking, which means that you throw in a quarterback that's already got low throwing power, an offensive line that's not going to give you a whole lot of time, and it's been a bad mixture for me so far. I still think that I have the nuts and the bolts that I need here. We put a lot of draft picks, the few draft picks that we had, into the offensive line just to add some depth in there and some backups. Definitely still a work in progress. When you look at the defensive line, not a ton changed here. We didn't have a ton of money to spend here. Still going for that 3-4 setup with Cam Jordan at the left end, Anyamata at the right end, and then Rankins at the defensive tackle. Linebacker is where we did spend a little money. We got a pretty decent deal on Kyle Van Noy over the Patriots. He doesn't have a ton of speed, but he's got enough to get by. I love his coverage ability, and he's just able to make that edge when I do send him as a pass rusher. Davis, we moved back to the middle linebacker spot with Anzalone. Payne will play a premium backup role here, but we'll take Davis's spot next year, and we'll have Anzalone and Payne play in the middle. Payne has been a really good player for me since I picked him up as a free agent draftee in the first Madden. Right outside linebacker is Davenport. He got hurt, and so we've moved some people around. We actually put Payne in this position, but this is going to be that blitzing stand-up outside linebacker in a 3-4. Davenport has played really well for me all of last season, but he starts off this season injured, and he's out for a little bit here. Cornerback has been a give and take here. Lattimore should be an absolute stud for me. He is not. He's been getting burnt this entire year. I think 2 out of the 3 games he's given up 150 yards receiving. It has just not been a good year for Lattimore. Eli Apple, I am now controlling. He gives me enough speed there that I'm getting better at that user-controlled cornerback spot. Now I'll move around from time to time, but my main guy is going to be Eli Apple. He's already got 3 picks on the year, equaling his total from last year. So we feel pretty decent right there. I feel like even when I have to move around to safety or linebacker, that Eli Apple can still hold down his own. It's going to be that third nickel dime positions that I'm worried about. Ken Crawley and P.J. Williams are kind of filling those spots here. They add in a little speed, a little athleticism, but not a ton in the coverage ability. You can see that both of those are in the 60s in zone, even though I play a lot of man there. Safety, I feel pretty good about. You got Gardner Johnson and Hampton at the free safety spot, Williams and Bell at the strong safety spot. The truth is that I've moved Williams over to strong safety. Bell has taken that free safety role, and Gardner Johnson has been playing the backup primary position in both of those, and even squeezing over to play my big nickel cornerback and even some of my nickel and dime cornerback situations, because he does have some pretty decent coverage ability there in 71 and 74, and enough speed with the 90 speed, 90 acceleration. Same kickers, same punters, and then gratefully, though, we have all the same draft picks. We actually have that second and fourth rounder that we picked up from the Chargers last year. But look, the Chargers were in the Super Bowl, so these are probably going to be pretty low picks, but at least it adds to what we have. Practice squad, there's not a ton here to really get too excited about. A kicker and a punter that I picked up just to kind of build up, see what I can do with them. Those guys, Abdullah Anderson, JT Gray is a real-life Saints draft pick that's now been on our practice squad for 2 years. Sylvester Morris, Brumfield. These are just guys that we're just trying to see what we could do with them. And then Nick Fitzgerald is the guy that I really would love to be my quarterback. I think he's got speed there to make some plays in the pocket. He's got a decent enough arm. I think it's 88. Man, those accuracies are pretty low. So we'll give him a year of just being on the practice squad, see what can become of him, and maybe move him up next year. Break down a couple of games real quick, and then we're going to get you out of here. Pretty short little Saints and Sinners. It has not been a good year. You can see the start of my season here. Let's see if we can come over here to the NFC South. 0-3. I've given up 90 points against and only scored 55 points for. two really tough games. I hung in there with the Falcons in week 1. He ran away with it in the second half. Week 2 and 3, we stumbled in the middle. Way too many picks with Bridgewater. And that's been the tough part, is learning how do you throw with Teddy Bridgewater. I haven't figured that out yet. You can see it shows in this 0-3 start. Even games that I thought that I really had a great opportunity, like the Packers, we dropped them, man. We just were not able to hang in there because Teddy threw the ball away. Against the Packers, we were up. We'll cover it here in a second, but we were up late, and it just got away with us. Falcons, again, you can see here, we kept it close in the first quarter. Second quarter, second half, the Falcons just put us away. Not a lot of rushing yards here for my team, only 99, but that was when I had gave up on the game very late. We put in the rookie, and he was able to get a couple of yards there. 31 offensive passing yards, and I think, turnover to 2 turnovers. And then this is where we really start to push the passing game in week 2 and 3, and it shows because we turned the ball over a whole lot. I just didn't have any answers for the Falcons. The rushing game really was dominant in the second half, and Matt Ryan just was able to make plays with Julio Jones that were just unbelievable. Week 2 with the Giants, we actually played this back-to-back with the Packers game. You see, they jump out to a big 17-0 lead. Just couldn't get anything going. Teddy Bridgewater was really struggling. 145 passing yards. We were able to get the rushing game going, and that helped stick in the Packers game. So we feel like we're figuring a couple of things out. But, man, you can't turn the ball over the way that we do. Sorry, I had those flip-flopped in my head. 3 turnovers for Teddy Bridgewater. He just struggled, and I'm struggling in the passing game. And then when you struggle with the passing game, you struggle with keeping drives alive. That's really going to hurt you trying to figure out, how do I play good defense if I'm on the field the entire time? It really opens up things for the other team. Again, second back-to-back game. We just came off that loss from the Giants. We go into this game feeling like, okay, we're going to try to focus here. Teddy then throws 3 or 4 picks, and it just gets out of hand pretty late. We'll even break this one down here. Aaron Rodgers had a pretty good day. Threw his turnovers early in this game. Teddy Bridgewater threw his late. I think we threw 2 back-to-back that really put the Packers back in this game, and just didn't have any answers, man, and gave up too many big plays here, especially for their receiving game. Tyler Eifert killed us early in this game. We actually said something, and then Adams took over, and Adams just had his way with Lattimore. And it's been the most frustrating thing. It's one thing for Teddy Bridgewater to struggle when you know that you'll probably struggle adjusting to the new game plan that you got to have with him. It's another to put Lattimore out there, a stud cornerback, a top 5 cornerback in this league, to play man up against the top receivers in this league, and then Devontae Adams and Julio Jones just kind of completely shreds him to pieces where he's not even in the same area to make plays. That's frustrating, and you really don't know what you're going to have next. Up next, we got the Panthers, Bucks, Lions, Panthers, Raiders. So things could turn really ugly for us again, and the outlook doesn't look really good. I guess if there is anything that has come out good in these first couple weeks, that is that Kamara re-signed with us at a pretty decent clip. I think I can show you that real quick before let you out of here. Yeah, we got a 4-year, $39.8 million contract. So overall, if he goes to free agency, that contract's going to be much, much larger than that. Lattimore's also up for contract. We're pretty close on his deal. It'll be similar to this money, and so I know a lot of people out there are having to re-sign their quarterbacks. I got my quarterback for $16 million over 4 years. That's not bad. And I'll take that each and every day when you're seeing Mariota go out there and sign a contract so large for his team. It really handicapped his team. You got to be careful. You're going to have to learn how to balance your roster. This is the year where Lattimore, Kamara, Ramczyk are all up for contract. You're going to see the Saints have to spend a lot of money in this season if we're going to keep those guys. It's not going to give us a ton of money going into the offseason, but hopefully with those high draft picks, we can get the quarterback of the future, get the few missing pieces that we need. At the end of the day, we got to keep hitting the practice field. I literally have been hitting the practice field 10 minutes at minimum a day, every single day, just trying to get my timing right. I know the practice field is not the same as actually playing games, but I got to do something to figure out the timing of having Teddy Bridgewater, because it has been a really big struggle. You go make the playoffs every single year, and even the last year get to the NFC Championship after beating the mighty Seahawks. You feel really confident. You feel really good in yourself. Roll into this Madden, all of the beta, all of the pre-release, and even when the game first dropped, my team was playing really, really well. This is not the same game that we had in the beta. It's changed. We're still trying to figure our sliders out. I think we're pretty close on them, but my team has changed. The sliders have changed. The game plays differently, and I'm really struggling trying to get that learning curve figured out. So there's your Saints and Sinners for weeks 1, 2, and 3 here in season 87. We're even going to try to do a press pass live tonight. I can't make any promises, but I will give it a shot, see if I can knock out a press pass live. Probably doing it solo unless I can get Bloop or one of our buddies to come and join us. But hopefully we'll knock that out pretty soon for you and then get to some semblance of a normal schedule here after that. So thanks for tuning in to a little Saints and Sinners. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your week. God bless you. Peace.